All right, tonight we're going to make a pretty simple recipe, one of my very, very favorites. And this is to help my sister-in-law Brenda, who lives far away across the country, learn to love her new Instant Pot, which I'm not sure she's used. This recipe is, we're going to make super fast red beans and rice from this fabulous cookbook. It's the Instant Pot Electric Pressure Cooker Cookbook by Laurel Randolph. And if you bought an Instant Pot, you need to order this on Amazon. It's great. So one of the beautiful things about the Instant Pot is you can cook dry beans very quickly. But if you really want to cook beans quickly, you can use canned beans, and that works really, really well. So that's what I'm going to do, and that's what this recipe calls for. So right now, the beautiful thing about the Instant Pot is that you can not only use it as a pressure cooker, but it is a saute pan. So I'm going to use it as a saute pan, and this recipe calls for heating up some bacon to use as the grease and the flavoring in the recipe. So I'm throwing this bacon in here, and we will let that get brown and really toast up for a little bit before we put all of our other ingredients in. Okay, so I'm cooking this bacon just till it's lightly crisp, and then I'm going to pull it out and set it aside for a minute while I cook some other stuff here. So we're going to pop it into this little plate. All right, we're good to go. Now what I'm going to do is cook my onions and my garlic. Use about 3 slices of bacon for this recipe, and I always have to refer to my recipe. Now we're going to add the onion and saute that for a couple of minutes. Oh, it sounds so good. Ooh. That's going to saute for a couple of minutes. I always love the Dahlia sweet onions with whatever I cook. Okay, so now that I've got one onion that has cooked for a couple minutes, I'm throwing in 1 chopped up bell pepper, and I'm going to cook that for a couple more minutes and just let that saute. Smelling pretty good with all that good bacon drippings in there. Okay, and then I diced up 4 garlic cloves, and I'm going to throw those in for about a minute. So, my hands are going to smell like garlic. Okay, so now I've cooked up my onions and my garlic and my pepper and that nice bacon fat. I'm going to put the bacon back in, and the recipe calls for a generous pinch of cayenne pepper. So what I usually do is just pour a little bit into my hand, take that and pour that in there. It looks so good. Actually, pour it all in. The recipe does not call for smoked paprika, but I love smoked paprika, so I'm going to shake a little bit of that in there too, and that'll make it delicious. All right, so I'm stirring that, and I'm about ready to go to town on my beans and my rice. The recipe then says, add the rice, beans, and broth. I have 2 cans of kidney beans. One is light red, one is dark red. You can use black beans, you can use navy beans, anything you happen to have a can of in your house. So this recipe calls for 2 cans of beans, 1 cup of white rice. So I'm mixing that all up, and 2 cups of chicken broth. So now comes the fun part where we're actually going to start the pressure cooker. Stir that all up. Check my cookbook to make sure I haven't forgotten something. Nope, I'm good. And what I'm going to do is secure the lid. Oops, there's a little piece of onion there. So oops, there we go. My pressure cooker, the sealing is right in the, it's sealing, S-E-A-L-I-N-G, is right in the middle, and on both sides I have venting. You might have a pressure cooker that only allows you to vent on one side. It really doesn't make any difference. Now what I'm going to do is turn this off, and I'm going to go to manual. And how many minutes? We're only going to cook this for 5 minutes. So go to manual, and what I can do is if I want to cook something for 10 minutes, I go up. If I want to cook something for less, I go down. What I need is 5 minutes on this. And then nothing really happens. I just walk away. There's no light that goes on, nothing that beeps. Pretty soon that goes on, and in a few minutes my timer's going to start, and it's going to count down to 5 minutes until my beans and rice is cooked. One of the weird things about the Instant Pot is when you hit what you're doing and it turns on, it'll say on for a while the pressure builds up, and then it takes a few minutes before you see your countdown start. And our countdown has just started, and we're 5 minutes away from having supper. So this 5 minutes of pressure cooking is up. It immediately goes to this low, and then it'll reverse the count. So it'll go from 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, and actually you have two options with the pressure cooker. When you're done cooking something, you can give it a natural release, or you can do it a quick release. And this recipe actually calls for a natural release, sorry, after 10 minutes. So I'm going to wait until the pressure cooker shows 10 minutes, and then I will release the steam that is in the pressure cooker. If this was another recipe and it called for a quick release, I would flip the pressure cooker from the ceiling to venting right now, but we're not going to do that. So we have about 10 more minutes. So now my Instant Pot has been releasing that naturally for about 10 minutes. So I'm going to flip this. You know, if your Instant Pot has venting on either side, it doesn't matter which way you flip it, and you just don't want to have your hand right over that. I love that. And all of a sudden my kitchen smells like onions and garlic and cayenne. It's so nice, that smoked paprika. And so now I can open my Instant Pot and take this off, and it looks so good. That rice is so pretty. And what I'm going to do, because we want this to be, this can be a nice side dish, but actually we've grilled some turkey sausage, and we're going to just throw a few pieces of mild turkey sausage that have already been cooked right into there. And now we have a main course for dinner tonight. And the rice is beautifully cooked, and I will put that in my serving dish. And we are good to go with a nice salad. And I'm always surprised at how much I end up with from 1 cup of rice and just 2 cans of beans. We end up with enough beans and rice to feed a lot of people. So again, I highly recommend the Instant Pot Electric Pressure Cooker Cookbook, and I love my Instant Pot.